Go.
Go on. Hi guys. Hi Sandy. Hi Rosie. I'm here with your guys' Bible reading. Sandy heard a knock on the door this morning, and I was asleep when I heard a bang, 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 bang. It was our neighbor telling us we had a package. And I've been sitting here eating some Crunch Hearts that somebody sent me. And Sherm's like, I don't eat shells and cheese. He's like, are you going to eat these? Crunch things? Like, we can share, you know. So I gave him one so far.
Where's one?
I gave him just one so far.
That's my
But thank you so much, Sandy. You know you did not have to do that.
We love you for it.
Yes, we do love you for it, but we love you anyways. And we appreciate everything you do. Even though you shouldn't do it for us, we still appreciate everything. Oh, and look what Sherm got me. He had $1 that I didn't know about. And he brought me this from the dollar store today and said, Happy Valentine's Day. I love it. It's a little pink teddy bear that says, I love you, and a fake red rose. I love the teddy bear. I love teddy bears. Look at it. I love it.
Let's go get you a mug. It says wildfire.
You would.
Well, I did.
Okay, guys. Oh, and Kelly, I got some ice. Sherm got me some ice today at the dollar store. So I'm like in heaven right now. Okay, guys. Let's get started. We got a long reading today. So I'm going to, about everything else. Toshiba service station software updates. You have one new software update. Too bad. I never add that stuff. Makes it slower. Alright, we're going to get into a lot today, getting closer to the end of what's going to happen to Jesus here in Matthew, but not today, but getting closer. And if you want to follow along in your Bibles with me, we are reading in the New International Version. Matthew chapter 26, we'll be reading verses 14 through verse 46. And then, of course, we'll have our Psalms and our Proverbs. Starting Matthew today. Are you alright?
Yeah.
Judas agrees to betray Jesus. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you? So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand Jesus over. For 30 pieces of silver. One of his disciples who he loved, who was supposed to love him, betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. Yeah, my Judas Iscariot. Jesus knew this was going to happen before it even happened, but of course nobody knew about it or, believed it that was going to happen, so. Sorry. The Last Supper. And I'm sure you guys have seen that picture many times. The picture of the Last Supper where Jesus is sitting at the table with his disciples, his apostles, stuff, having their last supper. It's really sad, but let's read it. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, Where do you want us to make preparations for you to eat the Passover? He replied, Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, The teacher says, My appointed time is near. I am going to celebrate the Passover with my disciples at your house. So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them and prepared the Passover. When evening came, Jesus was reclining at the table with the 12, and while they were eating, he said, Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me. Of course, him knowing it was Judas. They were very sad and began to say to him one after another, "Surely you don't mean me, Lord." Jesus replied, "The one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man will go just as it is written about him. But woe to that man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had been not born." Then Judas, the one who would betray him, said, "Surely you don't mean me, Rabbi." Jesus answered, "You have said so." While they were eating, Jesus took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat. This is my body." Then he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will not drink from this fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." When they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Now Jesus is going to predict Peter's denial. Then Jesus told them, "This very night you will all fall away on account of me, for it is written, 'I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered.' But after I have risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee." Peter replied, "Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will." "Truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "this very night, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. Talking about Peter. But Peter declared, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." And all the other disciples said the same. Now we're at Gethsemane. And Jesus at this point is feeling, a really heavy heart about what he knows is going to happen. Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, "Sit here while I go there and pray." He took Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour?" he asked Peter. "Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." He went away a second time and prayed, "My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away, unless I drink it, may your will be done." When he came back again, he found them sleeping, because their eyes were heavy. So he left them and went away once more and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same thing. Then he returned to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come, and the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." And that's where we're stopping with Matthew for today. And I know you're thinking, "Oh, come on." But tomorrow, you'll see what happens, part of what happens. Why Jesus said, "Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." Who was coming and why? we'll have to wait till tomorrow. God willing, to see. Now our psalm, if you want to follow along, is Psalm 31. We're still reading it, and is verses 19 through verse 24 today. I hate reading that part about Jesus up there that we just read, where Jesus is so sorrowful and his heart's so heavy, you know, because knowing what's going to happen to him. I'm sure, you know, most of you know what happened to him. And him knowing, you know, what all he's going to have to go through. Just breaks my heart. I hate coming to that part. Let's get in with the psalm. How abundant are the good things that you have stored up for those who fear you, that you bestow in the sight of all, when those who take refuge in you, in the shelter of your presence, you hide them from all human intrigues. You keep them safe in your dwelling from accusing tongues. Praise be to the Lord, for he showed me the wonders of his love. When I was in a city under siege, in my alarm I said, I am cut off from your sight. Yet you heard my cry for mercy when I called to you for help. Love the Lord, all his faithful people. The Lord preserves those who are true to him, but the proud he pays back in full. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. And that was continuing on with Psalm 31 with verses 19 through verse 24. And we are ending our Bible reading today with Proverbs chapter 8, reading verses 14 through verse 26. Still talking about wisdom. Counsel and sound judgment are mine. I have insight. I have power. By me kings reign, and rulers issue decrees that are just. By me princes govern, and nobles, all who rule on earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. With me are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. My fruit is better than fine gold. What I yield surpasses choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, along the paths of justice, bestowing a rich inheritance on those who love me, and making their treasures full. The Lord brought me forth as the first of his fruits. Before his deeds of old, I was formed long ages ago, at the very beginning, when the world came to be. When there were no watery depths, I was given birth. When there were no springs overflowing with water, before the mountains were settled in place, before the hills I was given birth. Before he made the world or its fields, or any of the dust of the earth. Okay, guys, that was our Bible reading for today. Please keep Sherman in your prayers. He's got to go to the heart doctor tomorrow, and he's been in a lot of pain with his chest and his back, which they say is related to his heart. And he's been coughing a lot. We don't know what that's about. And I think he's getting sick with something because his nose is all stuffy and he keeps sneezing and coughing, and I think he's getting sick. So please pray for him, and pray we get good news at the heart doctor tomorrow. And please watch over. Please say a prayer for Christopher Surback. He's still doing okay, but they're still waiting on, the test results. They haven't came back yet. But he's still doing fine. Just please keep him in your prayers. And please keep April and Linda Thacker in your prayers. And keep Sandy in your prayers for strength and comfort. Sorry, I can't talk today. And please keep Abby in your prayers because she's having a really hard time right now. I don't want to say what's going on, but she's going through a lot, right now. And please keep Jimmy in your prayers because he goes through a lot where he has to live and stuff, and he just has a hard time. Okay, guys, well, that was our Bible reading for today. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye, guys. God bless.